the song Hound Dog, You Ain't Nothing But a Hound Dog, the version that's done by Albert King, what you had done before was this for the verse. Okay, now that's great. You're using a triad shape, a triangle, a 1, a 3, and a 5 of a major scale, which is what we base everything on. Now, you may not have noticed when you did the verses of this song that he slides into 1, 2, 3. He slides into the 3. It's a more interesting way to do it rather than this. When we do the 4, now remember when we go to the 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. If we go down to the 4 instead, which I call the low 4, there's not a real way to slide into the 3 because you don't have an extra fret there. What you could do, you could slide into it right there. Slide into the 3 there because that note happens to be an A, just like that note is. That's an A. That's an A. You can't slide into this one, but you can slide into that one. Okay, now let's talk about the solo section. I'm doing a little alteration to this. What he's actually doing in the recording is this. He's starting on the top. I don't want to do that right now because I want you to be thinking in terms of major scale to stick to it. It's not going to make that much difference in the song, the way you play it. But basically, the notes are, for the solo section, 1, 6, 5, 4, 1, 6, 5, 3, 1, 1, 6, 5, 3, 1. Right? If you want to make it a little fancier, you go like this. You slide into 6. That's not much of a stretch in terms of physicality, what you really have to do. It's just a slight little wiggle of the finger. Now, what do you do when you get to the 4? Now you have the plain old 4 chord, the low 4 I call it, because that's the high 4, because this is the tonic 1, 2, 3, 4. But as we know, the octave is 2 down, 2 strings down, or 2 up, 2 strings up. So it's a box. That's an octave. How do I get that same slide into the 6? And this is why I'm making this video. You could do exactly the same if you knew that this and this, being 1 to 5 of any particular chord, if this is 1 to 5, this must be 6. Right? So you may have heard songs that go like this. You may have heard songs that go like that, old-fashioned songs from the 50s. So, consequently, if you can't reach this right here, C to A or 1 to 6, if you can't do that on this note, can't slide in, what you could do is this. That's a little bit of a stretch on this C note, but on the F, the 4, the low 4, there's nothing else you can really do. Oh, but you were lucky. Look. Aha, the third of the chord is right there on the open string. this should be, if you extrapolate this, what the meaning of this, if I can do this or this, because don't forget, this note, this open string, is the same as the 5th fret on the next fatter string. I'm playing the A string, the next fatter string on the 5th fret. If I play the D string, the next fatter string is the A string on the 5th fret. Same note. Consequently, you should then assume that I can do this. Right? That's the whole point of this. Okay, yes, I can reach farther than a lot of people. But one of the reasons, well, the obvious reason I can reach farther is I have a sort of a big hand. But the other reason is that I use a specific kind of hand position that you would use if you played double bass, upright bass, or string bass, where you keep your hand like this. By doing that, you can really extend the reach of your hand quite a bit. A lot of people try to play like this with their thumb over here. It's impossible to open your hand. A lot of people try to play like this. A lot of people try to play like this. You can't do it. It's a waste of time. So if you do it like you're playing string bass, and you go like that, you keep a gap between these two fingers. That means that when you put the gap there, when you stretch with the little finger, suddenly you've got this extreme amount of notes. What else was I going to say? This is what I was going to say. A lot of people say also, just kind of jumping to a topic that's related to this, a lot of people will say, well, when you're playing a song and you want to do some fills, what kind of fills would you do? Well, you would do the same thing that you just did on this song. If it's a song in a major key, if you went like this, well, there's a fill. That was a cheap fill. How about if I did this? You could use tones in the two steps away. I mean, two whole steps away. This is the same thing that you're doing when you do this move. Okay, if I get this sound when I'm doing that, and I get this sound when I'm doing that, using that shape, I guess I could do the same thing, like. Right? So anyway, that's how that works. And there you go.